The country is still processing last night's deadly plane crash in Washington, D.C. Thank you for being here for 9 News at 3. I'm Alexandra Lewis.
And I'm Sam Shocker. An American Airlines plane and an Army Black Hawk helicopter hit each other in the sky last night. Authorities believe everybody on the plane and everybody on the helicopter, a total of 67 people, passed away.
The victims' names are slowly coming out today. Samuel Lilly was one of the pilots. Today, the 28-year-old's father confirmed that his son was one of the pilots on that Black Hawk helicopter. Writing in a statement, "I was so proud," on the American Airlines plane. The father wrote, "I was so proud when Sam became a pilot. Now it hurts so bad, I can't even cry myself to sleep."
And at this time, we have been told that there are no survivors. We mourn with all those who have been impacted. This is a terrible tragedy that will unite those in Washington, D.C. and Wichita, Kansas forever.
An unimaginable tragedy. We are joined now by Chad Kendall, a professor of aviation at MSU Denver. Thank you so much for being here. And obviously we are awaiting, and I'm sure you are too, an official NTSB report about the crash. But Chad, we're all seeing the same media reports and some explanations that just don't seem to make sense. So your expert opinion, what do you make of what happened last night?
Tragic to see this indeed. You know, we've not had a fatal accident like this since 2009. We've not had a mid-air collision occur to this scale since the 1970s. And so in aviation, it's tragic anytime that there is an accident. And while we're still in the recovery process right now with law enforcement officers, the investigation has begun. And that is the responsibility of the NTSB to gather all of the pieces of evidence that they can. There's human factors at play. There is physiological factors at play. There's weather, there is air traffic control communications, there's the planes itself. All of those parts are in play for the investigation. The NTSB should come out with a preliminary report within 30 days. It may take upwards of 2 years before we get a final report on this accident. The investigation has to be meticulous. They have to go through all the processes that they need to gather the data to determine what actually caused this accident to occur.
Let's talk about the human factors, because the AP just released this report, not even an hour ago, saying that the control tower was not normal staffing, whatever that means. But I want to talk specifically about what role air traffic controllers play in making sure planes and helicopters are where they're supposed to be.
Sure, the NTSB and the FAA, they're going to look at staffing levels. They're going to make that part of their investigation. It's going to take some time to get through that, but certainly we've heard the communication that's occurred between the air traffic controller and the helicopter pilots and the commercial aircraft itself. In that environment, with what has occurred, they're relying on visual separation from each other. Obviously heard the air traffic controller state, do you have the jet traffic in sight? And then the pilot responding, the helicopter pilot responding to that. Now, part of the investigation is what happened after that? What were the pilots looking? Were they looking somewhere else? What was going on in the flight deck? Did they see another aircraft that was not the plane that they were supposed to be following behind? That's going to be part of this NTSB investigation. It's going to take some time to go through those pieces.
And what will federal agencies be looking into while they're investigating?
So we have not only the NTSB and the FAA, but we also have the military involved with this too. It's going to take a coordinated effort to be able to share information from every part of this accident to then start putting together the pieces of the puzzle for what caused this crash. And so investigators look at, again, human factors, they look at aircraft, they look at weather, they look at operations. Obviously, we had a night flight. How does that play a role into this? And so all of those pieces together is what the NTSB and the FAA are looking at this time.
The whole world is thinking about the 67 people that we lost and, praying and thinking about those families. But I also can't help to think about the millions of people who got on planes today. Sure. I checked into a flight. I'm flying at 8 a.m. in the morning. And I have some anxiety. I know other people do too. What kind of comfort can you give folks that this means there will be, what, new precautions in place? Like, what's going to happen?
I think it's a normal human response right now to have some anxiety, you know, and concern for flying. But even today, there were thousands of operations of airplanes that left their destination and got to their destination airport safely. And I think even as an aviator, and you know what we teach students even in our program, and that is, you know, now's the time to kind of pause and reflect, and you know, make sure that you're current, you're proficient, you know, that you understand the rules and how to operate a plane safely. As we see the NTSB and the FAA doing their investigation right now, you know, if they come out with a need for giving information to stakeholders, to commercial operators, to improve operations at a specific airport, to improve communications, even as they're going through their investigation and the final causal report hasn't been put out, then the NTSB is going to do that. That's the NTSB's role. The NTSB's role is safety and the FAA and the regulations that they create. And so the report itself will give final factors and safety improvements, whether that's technology, whether that's training for pilots and controllers and staffing, all of the above. And also as the investigation goes on right now too.
That's comforting, I think, to hear, but still, I mean.
And given it was a tragic, rare occurrence. I mean, you opened up your discussion with us that the last commercial airline crash was decades ago. And hopefully that can give Americans some comfort. But our thoughts and prayers with all those family members, I can't imagine.
All right, Chad Kendall, thank you from MSU Denver for being here and just providing a little bit of perspective. We thank you for your time.
Thank you.